Hey everyone, what's going on? Phoenix here. Today we are doing the Colosseum. I can't believe I haven't made this video yet, but this is going to be a long one, so I appreciate you in advance if you stay till the end. I'm doing this by myself with two characters, so this is going to be a little bit difficult. I know a few other people have made videos like this doing Colosseum solo, but this is my first attempt trying it. And also really wanted to make a Coliseum video in general. I remember in probably 2007 beating Coliseum for the first time and how huge of a deal it was to beat Coliseum. You had to have all the correct wands. War Mage was by far at that time the best class to run this quest on. And everything is just so different now. So the solo meta for doing Colosseum is to use a Oak Corrupted Heartwood wand on your Void character, because you can just spam the built-in spell on the wand to clear waves super quickly. I'm definitely a little bit slow at the start here to figure out playing two characters and, how this is going. Now, the other character I brought is my two-hand character. I don't know if that is the right choice for doing this as fast as possible, but I had a use in mind for having the two-handed character, which was the last wave, room 18. So the way Coliseum works is there's two arenas. There's a regular arena and an advanced Coliseum arena door. If you go in the regular arena door, you start in room 1. If you go in the advanced Coliseum arena door, you start at room 6. And if to use the advanced Coliseum arena door, you have to be level 80 minimum. To use the first door, I believe there's no level requirement. No level requirement. Now, there are boss arenas, and I've made some YouTube shorts for the different boss arenas, and in order to flag for those boss arenas, you need to beat different levels in the Coliseum. There are, I believe, 2 boss arenas where in order to flag for them, you have to go through the lower level Coliseum arena door to flag. So getting to level 6 by starting at the advanced Coliseum arena does not flag you for those lower level bosses. So if you care about titles and doing that, you might have to go into the lower door at one point, but if you just want to beat Coliseum and enjoy it and have fun, you can just do the advanced Coliseum arena and go from there. So I'm doing a bad job of going through what we're actually fighting here, but the way the Coliseum works is you go into a room and there's going to be 4 waves of monsters that you have to fight, and then a door will spawn and you'll go into the next room and you'll repeat that a bunch of times until you get to the last room. If you die in the Coliseum, you don't drop any items, so you don't have to go back and get your corpse, which is really nice. Typically, each room has 2 waves that are the same type, followed by 2 waves that are the same type. However, that trend gets broken a few times throughout, just to surprise you for whatever reason. And it's so interesting, the amount of work that went into beating Colosseum in the beginning. It was just such a different game. You needed 9 people working well coordinated together to beat it, and now I'm doing it by myself with 2 characters. There are 10 different walkthroughs on the wiki for the correct way to beat it. Do you need rares? What weapons do you need? And I'm not even playing particularly well and beat it by myself. So we are on Arena 8. This starts with Armadillos and Zephyrs. I should go back through and tell you what were the first couple waves. So Arena 6, the first advanced wave is Mossworts, followed by Lugians and Maticurs. Arena 7 is Eaters and Viamontians, and then we're on Arena 8. Something that helps your time with beating this is that, like I said, there are typically 4 spawns per room, but each spawn itself consists of multiple spawns. And if you beat that first spawn before the time when the second one would spawn, you skip that second sub spawn and go directly to the next normal spawn. That can drastically reduce the time it takes to beat Colosseum. Because you're always trying to get that skip. The next wave here is going to be Crystal Shard Sentinels and Sentient Crystal Shards. And then the second spawn of the sub-second spawn, I don't know how to say this in a better way, is a Crystal Lord and more Sentient Crystal Shards. So this is one where having a mage and a melee is super helpful. So I Imperil and Bludgeon Vuln, and that definitely speeds up the killing in this room. The different waves, the balance of them is not great. Like, this is a difficult one, and it's Arena 8. And then there's ones that are like Arena 10, where you'll clear it in like 3 seconds. So, the balance of the health, it's a little weird. Now, the way that the rewards work for this is whenever you go through a door, you get flagged for that reward. And there's different rewards for each room that you go through. So, for instance, after we complete Arena 8, we would get 6% of a level up to level 165, and then there's a title for this room as well called Survivalist. So, like, beating Arena 6, you would get Gladiator. Beating Arena 7, you get Warrior of the Seventh Circle. And the annoying thing about the way they did the title rewards is that, say you beat Colosseum, you only get the title for beating the Colosseum. You don't get all the ones for the rooms before that. So if you're a title completionist like I am, you have to go through and lose on purpose every single room to get that title. Yeah, it's kind of poor design, but I guess it gives you some replayability for going through. There's also titles for the regular Coliseum, the first 5 rooms, which are Scrapper, Arena Rat, Arena Custodian, Drudge Dread, which is an incredible title, and Contender. And then the rest of the titles for regular Coliseum, so I did up to room 8, that was Survivalist. Then you get Hostile Combatant for room 9, Myrmidon for room 10, Pit Fighter for room 11, Ringmaster for room 12, Lord of the Arena for room 13, Fearless for 14, Master Gladiator for 15, Colossus for 16, Titan for 17, and Coliseum Champion for beating the Coliseum, which is room 18. So there are some really cool titles. Like, I think Titan and Colossus are really cool. Fearless is really cool. It is worth, even though it's annoying, going back to get them. Getting the one for room 17 is not that bad, because if you get a group together and they are obviously trying to beat Colosseum, you can just help them and not go through the final door, and then you won't flag for beating it, and you'll get that room 17 title. So now we are on room 9. This first wave is these Althoe larvae. And then we get some real Althoe after that. This is where the Void Wand really shines. Just spamming. Of course, when you click on the bell, it doesn't help. I definitely got into a better groove in the later rooms, figuring out, like, how to play the second character. Oh, it doesn't matter to attack with my two-hander at this point. Let's just, like, stack. And then I use him, obviously, to use the summons, because summons are incredibly good. And just, you know, throw out the Void and deal most of the damage with Void. If you are really serious about, like, getting the best time, you're going to want to get certain Slayers. Like, the Althoe Slayer Wand would be really helpful here, and you can just 2-gack and kill everything with that. You're going to want to have different versions of the Nether Wand. So you would want to have an Undead Slayer, Oak Corrupted Heartwood Wand. You're going to want to have a Ghost Slayer Wand, I think is useful in here. You're going to want to have a Mukir Slayer, Oak Corrupted Heartwood Wand. And all of that will help. You're going to want to have a Shadow Slayer wand, which is what I'm using here. I just fumbled the start quite a bit and almost hit the skip anyway. This is another room where it's like, compared to those crystals, they're so weak if you have the right weapons, and maybe people just didn't have the right weapons a lot when this type of content came out. I just remember struggling so, like, this was so hard when, I mean, you only had, I don't think we had level 8 spells. We only had majors. It was just a very different game. And you know it was a different game because War Mage was the best build for Coliseum for a really long time. All right, now we're on Sleeches. Sleeches die so easily to the Nether Wand. This is like one of the easiest skips you can get. So we got the skip there, and then we'll, I think, get it again. Yeah, and I'm not even doing this well. And then after Sleeches, we get Ninja Shogen. Again, this should be an easy skip, but I think I fumbled it here. I was trying to play both characters too much, and I should have just been playing my Void and then using my two-hander to drop summons. But still super quick room, and we move on to room 11. So the first wave here is Tuskers and Verundi. Tuskers go down super quick. They're the same Tuskers from... what is that quest? Why am I fumbling this? Creepy Canyons. Thank you. And then the Verundi are Valley of Death Verundi, so I'm going to go with the Vuln and Imperil for them to bring them down easily. I do fire on this wave, and then I switch my two-hander to the Sing Greatsword, which I think is better than the Rinthid weapon, because the Rinthid weapon is a spear, so it doesn't cleave, and I want to cleave. And the summons can just take down the Tuskers. The Tuskers are a joke. This is a great place if you're doing the kill task to get Return to the Keep. Actually, Coliseum in general is a really good thing to flag for kill tasks before, if you're going to do a bunch of Coliseum runs. I highly recommend flagging for several different kill tasks. So you've got Verundi Paradox here. You've got Althoi, what are they called? Eviscerate? Not Eviscerators. The things that look like Eviscerators. I don't know. I'm doing bad with names of stuff right now. The other thing in this room is that if you're looking for little green seeds, these Tuskers drop them, and it's a great place to find them. There's a second wave later of Tuskers that also have the chance to drop them, and I think they're the ones that drop the little green seeds that will give you black dye. So that was Tortured Spirits. That's where the Ghost Slayer is useful. You could see I was using it on my two-hander. Now we're in Arena 12. The first wave is Rushk. The Rushker, I believe, are weak to Bludgeon, so I'm using my Bludgeon on my two-hander here and having my two-hander actually fight. I don't know if that's right or not. Rushk are not weak to Void. I think they're actually, like, resistant to it. Although it seems to be working fine there. So some Rushk are resistant to Void, or maybe they fixed that in the emulator. But yeah, the wand here works great. Bludgeon works great if you're not using Void. And then the next wave is going to be Mukir, so you're going to want to switch to your Mukir Slayer wand or Mukir Slayer weapons. And if you're bringing along lower level characters, like if you're just doing a normal Coliseum run, you're definitely going to want to have people be careful in this wave because it's one of the more dangerous waves for characters to actually die. Not that it really matters if you die, you can just come back to Colosseum and walk your way through. Here's the Mukir. So they, like, imperil, they vuln. They deal a bunch of melee damage if they can hit you. I mean, for these characters, it's not, like, a concern, but just a heads up if you're bringing lower level characters along. So I'm not even using my... I forgot to switch to my Mukir Slayer Corrupted Heartwood Wand. But there we go. And we'll go on to the next room, which is Arena 13. So this is one of the kind of weird ones where you get some different types of waves. So the first wave is these Ravager Karenzi and Verindi Quidoxes, which is another kill test to flag for. But then after this wave is one wave of Path of the Blind Lugians. This is another wave that is very dangerous for low-level characters. Actually kind of dangerous for everybody because they throw hollow rocks. And a hollow rock could just randomly take anybody out, I think. So if you're, again, if you're a low-level character, you just want to be like moving around at the end of this wave. You don't want to stand still too much. And just be ready. Yeah, so here we go. We got hollow weapons. So you're going to want to use lightning summons and lightning rend weapon. Or, you know, your Corrupted Heartwood Wand also works really well. But yeah, even me, 275, like, I'm taking some damage here. I have to be careful. I have to heal. I had to switch off to my other character and heal that character as well, so that's why I'm standing around a bit. If you do see me standing around doing nothing in this video thinking, what the heck is he doing? It's because I'm playing the other character, so sorry about that. I know it makes a little bit of a weird video sometimes, but it is what it is. So yeah, this wave, it's like, you know, you just have to be careful. I don't think it's hard. Hit the wrong button. That's always helpful. And then once this wave goes down, we're going to get 2 waves of Inflamed Ursuins. It's a little bit strange, but the Inflamed Ursuins are weak to fire. And they're also weak to the Oak Corrupted Heartwood Wand as well. This is one where you could get a skip if you're playing it really well. I like the look of these Ursuins too. I think this is the only place that they spawn. It also makes the whole room look like it's on fire, and it's really hard to tell what's going on because they're so big. All right, and then we're on to Arena 14. So this room is Verendi, Quidoxes, and Paradoxes. Another reason to flag for the kill task. You can really make a huge dent in this kill tasks here. And that kill task is a huge pain to like run around VOD and get. So here I am imperiling and volning and using my two-hander with the greatsword to cleave and kill. It's a little bit of a dance to like hit a vuln, switch character, attack, hit a vuln, switch character, attack. You get used to it, and I think if I did this more consistently, I would be better at it. I just haven't been playing two characters at once very much. Or if you're just playing with a friend, they don't have to play two characters. I also keep clicking on like the doors and the bell randomly. I think they figured that out when they did Gauntlet. So in Gauntlet, when you click on the bell despawns. But in Coliseum, it stays and can like just get in everyone's way. And after the last one goes down, we get another wave of the same VOD Verendi. After the VOD Verendi, we're going to end up with some Egg Orchard Althoi. So that's like Slayers. I really love reading along with this the guide to how to beat it, and like one of the recommendations was for mages to switch to their racial melee skill, which is just such a different time in AC's history. You could just, I would just have dagger for no reason. Again, doing the same strategy of volning and killing with my two-hander. You can see how valuable the cleave is here. They're just lined up. My two-hander had, before this, had beaten Gauntlet, but never even entered Coliseum before, so I thought that was funny. All right, here's the Egg Orchard Althoi. So we've got, yeah, what are they? Rippers. I don't know. They just look like Eviscerators. It's literally the exact same model, but yeah, they're Rippers. Switching to, finally, to my Althoi Slayer Wand. Seeing if the Tugak was better than just the Corrupted Heartwood Wand, but I think I decided the Corrupted Heartwood Wand was better just for the ability to spam it like this and not having to stop to heal, and that seemed pretty good. So yeah, Rippers is the other kill task that I was trying to think of before and couldn't figure out the name for. And yeah, so it's Slashers, Slayers, Rippers, and Primordials. I think Primordials are from VOD, not Egg Orchard. Which they're like harder to kill but less dangerous, I think. They just have a ton of health like everything in VOD has for no reason. All right, and that's Arena 14. We're heading on to 15. Something else to note as you're going through, if you're like wondering how much time you have left, you'll see me do this a lot, is you can just ID the ticket. And the ticket has a timer on it for when it will fall apart. This first room, I in here, our first wave in here, I really fumbled again. Like, you should get a skip on these moss sorts, I think. They're really not that difficult. I just, again, struggling to like switch weapons on my two-hander, and do I attack with my two-hander, or do I just attack with the void wand? Like, this is stuff that you'll get into a groove on if you do this a lot. And if you're interested in doing a Paragon weapon, you'll be doing this a lot. This is, I think this is the best way to get Coliseum coins. The only other option really is gambling. Gambling's just so boring. This is like a little bit more interesting. And if you do this to get currency, it's only... So like for this run with 2 characters, I'll get the equivalent of 10 Colosseum coins on 1 character. We'll go into the rewards a little bit later. So after the... This is the second wave of Moss Warts. After the Moss Warts, we're going to get Undead. So you're going to want to have your Undead Slayer Void Wand ready to go. Again, I didn't have it ready to go. I was really just winging this. And you can tell. So you start getting Colosseum coin rewards in room 13. So if you beat room 13, you get 1 coin. If you beat room 14, you get 1 coin. 15, you get 2 coins. Which is where we are. So if we beat this, we're up to getting 2 coins. 16, you get 3. 17, you get 4. And then 18, you get 4, and you also get a key to the vault. And then the vault has a chance at one of 5 different Empyrean rings, which were incredibly powerful when this came out. Their power level has gone down quite a bit, but like, for instance, the yellow Empyrean ring is the best ring in the game for activating items with high arcane lore. I still have that on Phoenix, my 5 Enlightenment 275 character, because it has literally the best spell in the game for increasing your arcane lore. There's a way to upgrade the rings too. You have to spend 25 currency in Colosseum for a crystal that upgrades them. It's not really worth it generally. So after the Undead, we're going into room 16 where we have Viamontian Hands. You're going to want to use Lightning on these guys. This is a room where you can get a skip if you're paying better attention. Or just playing better than I'm playing here. And then we got our second hand wave. That sounded funny. Our second Viamontian Hands wave. We almost got the skip here, but not quite. Just too slow on that one that was far away. So yeah, there's the yellow Empyrean ring that's still good, and the red Empyrean ring is useful because it has Essence Glutton on it, which is the 30 health spell, and you can get it on your finger instead of using your neck slot. And then the upgrade for the red Empyrean ring is actually quite good because it gets Epic Endurance. And typically you can't get Epic Endurance on a ring, I don't think. Yeah, so now we're on Swarm Demons. This is another one where the Corrupted Heartwood Wand really shines. They just run at you and try to die. But this is a little bit of a time sink wave, so you have to be prepared for this one. All right, and then we've got one more Swarm Demon wave here. Going to be using summons, going to be blasting away with the Heartwood Wand. The other Empyrean Ring rewards I don't think are really that useful. There's the blue Empyrean Ring, which is like for mana renewal and getting extra mana, which is not super relevant. And the green Empyrean Ring, which is like more for stamina and like regen. It also has bludgeoning ward on it, which is nice. And then there's the white Empyrean Ring. Yeah, that's the last one, which has a triple major bludgeon, piercing, slashing protections. And then if you upgrade it, it gets epic piercing ward. So it's not really like anything special in my mind. And then you can turn in any of the rings for 2 Coliseum coins. So that's why I was saying you get the equivalent of 10 Coliseum coins per run. Did I do that right? Yeah, so you get 4 for beating it. You turn in the ring, you get 2. That's 6. You can ivory the ring from the other character and turn it in on your main to get to 8. And then you convert the 4 that they get for winning into prom notes, and that buys 2 on your main. So it's like getting 10. So while I was not paying attention, we made it to the next wave. We're on Arena 17 now. We've got a Tuskers and Verundi wave. These Tuskers are a little bit tougher, but it's the same Verundi from like 4 rooms ago. So again, we're going with the Sing Great Blade, 2-hander focusing on the Verundi, and then I learned just there that 2-gacking the Tuskers does not work. They take 0 damage from it. But Corrupted Heartwood Wand spam works perfectly. It's like incredibly overpowered for stuff like this. This wand is so good. And mine is Paragon 50, so it's even better. I definitely had a slow moment there between the characters. I could have been doing better. But we're on Arena 17 out of 18, playing solo, and if I remember correctly, I have about like 15 to 18 minutes left. So we're like right on track. Second wave of Tuskers and Verundi, same thing. I think one of the problems with Coliseum is that it was such a success and people loved it. And then Turbine, in their infinite wisdom, tried to like make so many different quests this like wave style. And it's just like, you only want to do this once. You don't want to do it for every quest that you're doing. Off the top of my head, there's like Graveyard Coliseum, which is, it's not Coliseum, but it's just like a waved encounter and you're just doing waves. And the one in the desert, where I'm terrible at names right now. I don't know why I can't remember these quests. But yeah, they tried to do this a bunch, and it wasn't as fun the second or third time. And obviously Gauntlet is just like a straight rip of Coliseum. All right, couple more Verini here, and then we are going to get Uber Penguins. You're going to want to use fire, and then the way I'm doing this is me and my two-hander are both dropping our summons. My two-hander is attacking, and I'm just volning for fire to try to get through these as quickly as possible. This wave does not take that long compared to the others, but is dangerous. I know anybody who's run around the landscape around Eastwatch knows that Uber Penguins are the worst. All right, that's the first Uber Penguin wave, and then we're going to get a second Uber Penguin wave, and then we are on to Arena 18. We're almost there. If you're still watching, thank you. I know this is a long one. Just doing the same thing as the first wave, imperiling, or not imperiling, volning, killing with summons, and killing with your other character. And then heading to the door, last penguin. Oh, last two penguins. Should go down quick with the summons, and then we are on to Arena 18. This is the biggest time sink in the entire thing, so we got 12 minutes left. Very doable, but I was nervous. The first wave is Tremendous Manugas. Now, I believe Target HUD and like generic wisdom says that Tremendous Manugas are weak to cold. I am going to be using Acid. I think Acid is a lot better. So the way I do this wave is I imperil and vuln all three. We both have our summons out. My two-hander is using an armor-rending acid weapon, a very good armor-rending acid weapon because we use that for Gauntlet. And then once I get everything imperiled and vuln, I'm going around with my best damage rating Void Wand and dropping curses on the ones that my two-hander is attacking. And once I have those curses on, then I'm using blasts to deal damage. And these go down pretty quickly with this setup. This is the whole reason why I brought my two-hander on this quest. I think typically it would probably be better to use like two mages, and then you could have like one casting a ring while you use the other one to cast a ring and go back and forth casting rings. You could probably do that and get to here quicker. But then I think you'd struggle with damage output. So the two-hander here is just so good. And you see those two Tremendous Manugas went down at basically the same time because of the cleave. So we got that first wave down. Second wave is going to spawn, and it's the exact same thing. It's going to be 3 Tremendous Manugas. We're going to do it the same way. Imperil, Vuln, Curses. If you're looking for Manugat, a bunch of Manugat spawns on the ground after these guys die, which I think is hilarious. I don't know why you would be after Manugat, but it's there. You definitely want to make sure on your other character that you are cleaving. I think it's possible with the way that they line up and the size of the model that you might not be. So you just have to be careful about that. Also, I absolutely love like the size of the room and the size of the tremendous manugas and the fact that I can only see up to like their waist. Tremendous manugas were such a good idea in this game. It's just like so iconic Asheron skull. You want to make sure that you're recasting the curses so that they're always on. Definitely double check that. Yeah, I was definitely cleaving because the two go down at the same exact time, and then we're on to the third one. And here for a second, I wasn't attacking with my two-hander, so I got the curses on and then switched, and then it starts dying like immediately because the curses are so good. All right, now we have Guardians, Elite Guardians. Elite Guardians spawn in, I think, 3 waves. The first wave is 1 Elite Guardian. Then there's a second wave where 3 spawn. And then there's a final wave of them where I believe 5 spawn. Something like that. We're going to use Acid. Another reason to use Acid on the Tremendous Manuga so you don't have a weapon swap at the end when you're racing to try to finish in time. And I think I missed that there was a third one over in the corner. I should have been volning that instead of attacking. I also accidentally popped a cold summon when I should have been using Acid. Yeah, so this is the last wave, which I think just has a wave and a sub-wave. So you get a 3 spawn and then another 3 spawn. So you get 6 total on this last wave. So because there's so many, I'm just hitting Acid Vuln instead of Acid and Imperil. I love the way these guys look. They're super cool. And they using the Atlans, like, well, that guy just killed my summon, so that's not good. Yeah, and then once I got Acid on everything, then we go back around and get the Imperil. We just want to make sure that we get the Acid Vuln because we are using that Acid AR. Last couple of guys, and I think we got it with enough time. Although I hit that cold summon again, so gotta watch out for that. 5 minutes left. Last monster. You have to go through the door. I'm going to say it again, but like when you finish this, you have to go through the door or you don't get credit. You get a little bit of a fireworks show here, which is pretty cool. It says, congratulations, you have beaten the Coliseum. And then hit the door. Again, make sure you hit the door. If you talk to the Master Arbitrator before the timer is up, he'll tell you how much time is left, but he will not reward you until the timer fully runs out. So you'll see you get Let It Be Known that Phoenix is a Coliseum champion, so you get that title. You get 4 Coliseum coins, you get a Coliseum vault key, and you get some experience. So then you can use your key on the vault, grab the ring, and any of the other random loot if you want it. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you everybody who made it to the end. This is like a 45-minute video, but I wanted to make it for so long. So that's going to be it for this one, and I'll see you in the next one.